guys, in today's video I'd like to talk to you about the Jane Davenport Peerless watercolors. So these are 2x2 inch swatches which can be purchased in other sizes as well. That watercolors on one side and the back side has your color information. So this side right here, the darker side, is the watercolor, and then the back side gives you your information about the color, I guess where you purchase them, and the website as well. So Peerless watercolors were originally used a long time ago to tint photos, but a lot of people now use them to just paint with, and they're very vibrant in color and very easy to work with. So this particular package that I have here was hand selected by Jane Davenport and includes 6 colors that aren't found in any other pack. Besides those 6 colors, most of these can be purchased in bigger pieces, 2x6 I believe. Now when it comes to pricing, these for me were very expensive because I live in Canada and these came from the US, or I had the option of purchasing them from Australia, I believe. These cost me about $104 or $114, I'm not 100% sure. I did buy them during Christmas. So I think if you were buying them in the US or elsewhere, you would get them for about maybe $50 to $60. So for me, that was one of the downsides of buying these watercolors, was because of the ridiculous amount that I had to pay for the exchange rate. But if I were able to buy these for $50, like it does state on the website, you know, without having to exchange the money and whatnot, then I would definitely buy them again. As of right now, I'm kind of on the fence whether I want to purchase another pack once these are gone. But it seems like I still have a nice ways to go because there is still a lot of watercolor left. So I may have my mind changed by the time I'm ready to buy some new ones. So, what you do with these when you get them, or what you can do with these when you get them, is you can make yourself a little swatch book, or a little palette, as some people call it. So, what I did, if you buy them, if you actually go to the Jane Davenport website, you can actually print off a piece of paper like this, and it has all your little grids and everything already on there for you, so you don't have to draw this out with a ruler. And I didn't do that, so I sat down with a ruler on Christmas Eve and I drew all of this out because I knew I was going to get these on Christmas Day. So what I did then was I made the squares each to the size that I wanted to cut the square off of the watercolor chip here, and I cut them out and I used a glue runner to put some glue on the back of these pieces, and I just stuck them down. So they're really easy to pull off when you're ready to change them out. Now the reason why I pulled this one off, this is a dud. There's no color coming off of this piece anymore, and the color doesn't come off of the other chip as well. That's the second downside that I found to these, that you're not guaranteed to have color on all of your swatches. So I don't know if I just got like a bad set in the group, but this cad yellow doesn't work. I barely got enough off to get this up in here, but I haven't been able to get anything else off of that chip since. So, to talk about the color, I did a very bad thing when I first started working with these. Oh, before I move on, I should say that this here is just a piece of transparency film that I've used a little bit of washi tape. I'm losing my train of thought there. I used some washi tape and some glue to stick it down, and as you can see, some of the color bled onto here. And that's another thing about making the chart for yourself, because the colors on these little swatches are nowhere near the colors that you get when you make them wet. So to put this aside, the first time that I painted with the Peerless colors, I used it on the face here and right here, and a little bit on the wings. The hair was done with a different, with a marker. So with this, I found my first time ever using it without any instruction from anyone else, First of all, I made one big mistake and I gessoed my paper. Now the reason why I did that was because back when I first started art journaling, everyone always said you always have to gesso your paper. Make sure you gesso your paper. You have to gesso your paper. And you don't have to. I recommend you don't gesso your paper until you figure out if you like working with gesso or not. And since I've turned to using watercolor, I hate gesso. It made my page really gritty, the colors weren't as vibrant, and it just wasn't a pleasant experience for me, and I've literally put off using my Peerless since I've made this page. And this was back in I made this one here in January 22nd, so this one was done before then, and I haven't touched my Peerless watercolors since because I was so I was down about using them because they didn't look as good as they could have compared to what I've seen other people use them. So don't gesso your paper. Okay, this is what you get. Another thing I found was if you're going to lift the color off of the swatch, put it on like a palette of some sort, like one of these little things here. Because if you use it right off of the color swatch, you'll use way too much color, and your swatches will run out really, really quick. Because when I had done this face and the skin on the body here, I used one complete square of the flesh tone, and I shouldn't have used nearly half of it. So that's another tip, is to not use the color directly off the swatch and mix it onto something else with a little bit of water, so you can gradually build up your colors rather than just working out your entire little paint chip all at once. So needless to say, I am working on something else, and I'm talking about this after I've completed my other project that I did do with the Peerless watercolors. So I will insert that footage here, and then I'll go on to tell you about how I feel after using them on paper that hasn't been gessoed, and from using them with a few other techniques that I didn't use on this painting here. So I'll go ahead and insert the clip, and yeah, I hope you enjoy the process of the little painting that I did. So I finished up the project here, and I just wanted to compare the colors. With the greens here and the greens in here, they do look a little similar, but I find that these look a little bit more vibrant than what's in the shirt over here. And I found that, as I said before, mixing the colors on something that I can, not mixing the colors, but pulling the colors off of the chips and mixing them with a little bit of water at a time also helps with the vibrancy, if that's a word, of the colors, and it makes the colors stand out quite a bit more. So it does work. The colors work a lot better on regular watercolor paper instead of this kind of paper that's gessoed, but I haven't used just these colors on moleskin paper, so that may work quite well too, just I haven't given that a try yet. So that's my opinion about these watercolors, and so yes, I would buy them again if I could get them for the lower price, but not to pay over $100 for something that could potentially only last a couple of weeks, if that, if I decide to use them quite a bit. There are other things that I use, like Inktense blocks, which I know they're ink and not watercolor, but they're pretty similar, that I only paid $67 for, and they could last probably months, if not a couple of years, depending on how much I use them. Whereas the Peerless watercolors, they're probably, if you use them quite a bit, they're probably not going to last you more than 2 weeks. So that's my opinion on these. Great colors, great color choices, a great idea for if you're on the go, but price-wise, not the best option. If you enjoyed the video today, go ahead and give me a thumbs up to let me know that you did. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please let me know in the comment section below. So that's it for me today. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.